What's going on, guys? Johnny Trades here, and we are doing a live trading session a little later in the day. I do apologize for showing up a bit late today. We had a dentist appointment for my daughter, so yeah, that was right at 8 o'clock, and now it's about 9:37 here. So jumping on, I'm gonna go over my swing trade from yesterday. We're still holding 20 shares at around $1,000. Looks like we just went green from red to green, so that's a very good to see here as well. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the overall market, how they are staying above this moving average, and how basically it is holding again above this moving average right here. So we're going to go ahead and go to chart settings, trade, and we are going to move our open trades just so it doesn't distract us. And actually, why not go ahead and yeah, that's fine like that. That's fine like that. So okay, so welcome. Let me go ahead and share this link. That way everyone knows that we are here. And again, I apologize for being late. Usually we show up every morning at market open. So for a lot of you who are new to the channel and watching for the first time, usually this is at market open, okay, for about 30 minutes. So, all right, let's talk about it. Moving average, 200-day moving average. If you guys are not familiar with the 200-day moving average, definitely check out my Learn to Earn lesson library. It is free in our YouTube playlist. Now, that is going to give you a little bit more understanding of what these moving averages actually mean, but to keep it short and sweet for today's live stream, it is above the moving average for the first time since, guess when? Since it was at those all-time highs of $517 to $540, it was above that moving average. Okay, smash that like button. Let me know you guys are here and that we are live. Okay, perfect. Now, it's above that moving average, right? We're starting to see some really great progress for the NASDAQ overall. NASDAQ had lows of 398, which is insane, but at the same time, that would have been the bottom right now of the market. Market sold off about 25%. It's already corrected itself. What is that? I think 20% already. From 540s to 398 was a 26% sell-off. Okay, and it has actually now gone up over 18%, just shy of 20%, already back up to those new highs. Now, with QQQ being at this level, see how it pushed up above this 200-day moving average? For quite some time, it was getting rejected. And again, this is on the 4-hour time frame. So for any of you who, one second here, got distracted. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Trying to multitask here. Getting this last link sent to our group of over 73,000 members now, if I do believe so, on our private Facebook group, Investing for Beginners community. Definitely check it out. Okay, so since this has been getting rejected, right? Every time it comes up to pass this moving average, the green line, it gets rejected. And in knowing that, it's created a bear market over the last couple of months. Now we are beginning to see more of a bull market. We're starting to see progress to the upside, which is fantastic. Okay, we were trading SQQQ. If I go to my chart settings for everyone that's new here and show my trading, you can see we traded SQQQ a lot. As the market sold off, we traded this literally every single day. Now we're going to flip our attention to TQQQ. Okay, we started initial trading it here when we started seeing it trade horizontally, thinking this could be the possible bounce, and sold off a little bit more. TQQQ got to as low as $33. It's now up to $54. That's incredible. Okay, so now that gives you a little bit overall, like a bigger picture of basically the market and the conditions of the market. All right. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. Everyone just tuning in, welcome. Okay, so now that it's above this moving average, it's been holding. I would like to see this hold and begin to show really nice progress to the upside. Now, it doesn't mean it has to, but if this can, this can get 10%, 20%, 30%, even to those previous highs when the NASDAQ was at $540, TQQQ was at around $90. So there's still a 71% return, potential return, when the market recovers. Now, getting into our trade, I did buy this right here. During this breakout period, I did buy, because again, we noticed that the market was bullish for a few days, right? Since last Monday. We're here on Tuesday. This was Monday, this black column. This column here is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So since Monday of last week, we have been experiencing a very nice bull market. Over the last 8 days, it's gone up over 35% on TQQQ. Now, that would have been nice to buy down here, or maybe even buy here at this initial crossover. But ever since it crossed over the moving average, this green line, it has not come below that line or gone down below this level, which is indicating that it's bullish. So by understanding that it was bullish, I bought and sold some TQQQ on Friday, okay? And then I did buy some on Monday yesterday, okay? And we can see, because it was bullish, it was holding that moving average. Above that moving average, we bought that breakout, and unfortunately it got rejected, and I held on to it. I believe I bought a couple shares just to average down right here, just to kind of see, and then I noticed it dropped more, decided to wait, and then as it recovered, I sold just 2 shares to make it an even 20 shares hold overnight. And with that said, it's kept pushing up, pushing up. Now, it did have this bear trap this morning, basically, or a bull trap. It was selling off, or no, it would be a bear trap. It was selling off, indicating, hey, you know, maybe this is going to sell off even lower, back down to $51. Well, it didn't. It actually began to bounce at about 52.60, 52.70, and from that bounce, it's already up 2.77%. So $1.50 per share if you bought that bottom and you are currently holding at this high. Now, right now, let's see, we're up like $8. I mean, we're not up a lot. And what I want to talk to you about too is SoFi. We did trade SoFi this morning. We did see potential with it. And again, I bought that breakout. Now, SoFi's reported earnings, and they had a record net revenue of $772 million. Okay, not bad. And 2025 guidance was boosted. So, you know, maybe now is the time to buy SoFi now that it's bouncing and holding above this moving average. I bought at 14.11, just a few shares, and sold at 14.19. So it was not a great trade. I could have sold at 14.50s, locking in a few dollars, but literally I didn't lock in much at all. 62 cents. That's nothing, right? But with SoFi, it's just the beginning. Just the beginning for SoFi. I would love to see, now that this is above the moving average, for SoFi to get above 14.50, right? That was even my alert there at 14.50. Now, if it did go above that, I would have added more, because I do believe this can get back up to $18, you know, $17, $18. But right now, it's having trouble getting past that 14.50. And I actually made this 14.56 alert either yesterday or the day before. And you can go check on that video, but I was like, man, if this gets above 14.50s, I'd love to see a significant breakout. But right now it's still holding, which means this was a new resistance at 14.51, and that's kind of where we're at now. It has a double resistance here. Well, I guess this one doesn't really matter anymore. Okay, so as long as this continues to stay above the moving average, we might get another price target, you know, another 7.5%, maybe $1 per share. You could buy 100 shares of SoFi, about $1,300, and make $1 per share, be $100 right there. Okay, doesn't mean it has to though. SoFi technically could sell off back to, you know, moving average and test that, but looks like it's been very bullish. Again, we called this out on the Sunday Stock Talk. Down when it was at $8 levels. So this is, you know, this is the time to sell. It's up 75%. You know, even if you waited for it to cross over, this moving average a few days ago, up another 27%. So whether you bought into SoFi or even if you bought into TQQQ, you would be up pretty much around the same amount from those lows of 33. Oh no, that's 60. That's 60%. So that's incredible. What about this low here? 35%. Okay. So anyways, back to trading. We are now above that moving average. Okay, so it struggled to hold above, to get above the moving average pre-market, sold off a little bit, got rejected slightly here, and then once it pushed up above the moving average on the 1 minute time frame, guys, this is what I'm looking at here. Once it pushed up above this time frame, you guys can see this, it went up, and then it validated the support. That's what I love about this, right? It pushed up, it came back down, and it validated this as from a resistance where it got rejected to now a support, and it pushed up. Okay, it came back down to validate it one more time. Are we really bullish? Came back down to validate? Yes, it is, and it pushed back up. Okay, so when it's below that moving average, that is a strong sign of it getting rejected. And when it pushes above it and it holds this as a support, that's a strong sign of it being bullish, okay, and it going up. Tested it again, pushed up, and now it's been actually trailing nicely ever since, right? It even came all the way back down and retested it a third time, validating that the market is still bullish in a way. Okay, and this can do this all day. This can continue to chop like this. There's a lot of meetings this week. There's a lot of news and economic reports being released, as well as a lot of earnings. Microsoft reports their earnings tomorrow, so I'm curious to see what happens there. I think Microsoft's going to stay right here within this level. It has stayed within this level for the last 3 days, and I believe it can stay here until it reports earnings. Now, there's going to be people that are trying to play earnings bullish, bearish, both sides. It could be very volatile tomorrow. But overall, I think Microsoft's going to report pretty decent earnings. I mean, they are a pretty major company, but doesn't mean it has to go according to plan. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, guys. I mean, maybe even stuff I can't even mention on the live stream. But if you're watching the news, you're seeing what's going on right now in Europe with the, let's just say, I don't even know if I can say it, but you guys know everything going on in Europe right now. There's some stuff going on today, guys. Turn on the news. You know, it's crazy the markets aren't really reacting to it. There is some crisis happening right now. I guess I could say it. I don't know. They're the Europe. What is it? Is in with no power right now. They don't have any power. They still don't, right? So there's no transportation. There's nothing. They don't even have street lights. All their shops are closed. Their cell phones don't work. Major power outage and blackouts happening right now in Europe. So we want to make sure that we're aware of that as well. All right, guys, keeping you guys informed. All right, so TQQQ, you know, it wants to hold above here. Even on the 5 minute, it's holding above slightly, but it's still not really a good, you know, it is super bullish, right? We are seeing some resistance now at that 54 level because we've seen resistance here before. Not only did we see support, we got resistance, some resistance here as well. So we're going to need to get above this level in order to see another significant, you know, breakout. So looking at QQQ, pretty much the same exact area here. It's at 474.99. So we got to get above 475 in order to see anything significant happening. Okay, see how we got rejected right at 475 there? We got rejected the day before that. So yeah, I'd love to see QQQ get above 475. I believe we can do that, maybe even by today. But this could also just play around with us also, get back up to 475 and then just come right back down. There's nothing saying that that doesn't have to do that. It's literally trading right now in a horizontal pattern. 465 support to 473, back to 465, up to 475. It didn't quite get back down to 465, but it is trading within a range. So are we going to see a significant breakout from 475, or is it just going to simply get rejected again? and just keep chopping like this maybe until tomorrow. All right. All right, guys, any questions or any comments, concerns? I'm probably going to wrap up the live stream here. I wanted to just be real quick and short. I wanted to give you a live update on exactly what I'm doing here with this light position. I would have loved to add more down at this level, but again, why would I add when they're to a losing trade? I wouldn't want to add to a losing trade. If I'm already down 3% or $30 pre-market, why would I add more down here? Only if I knew, of course, there was a change of direction, would I have added. Now, the better part to add would have been where? Possibly here, first sign of it getting support. Crossing over the EMA can be nice, but when it crosses over the EMA, sometimes it can do this. It can cross over the EMA, you look bullish, you get in, and then it gets rejected. Okay, so that validation, not here, but maybe here, would have been a nice place to add more to my position. Maybe I could have bought another 20 shares. And then also here would have been a nice place. You know how it went slightly under and then came and shot back up. That would have been a nice area, and even here. So there was a few areas of opportunity where I myself personally could have averaged in more, got a better position on this position. But also, I don't really want to add to a losing position either, because even at that level, you know, down 13 or, you know, down 1.5 to 2%, you know, you necessarily wouldn't want to add to that unless you knew that this was bullish. Okay, so markets are super overbought. I do want you guys to understand that markets are very overbought right now. It has been on like this 7-8 day run. Okay, it's been on a very nice bull run. It is hitting some previous resistance levels, and hey, this may come back down back through the moving average, right? And we get lower lows, and we can see that. Doesn't mean it has to do whatever I want it to do, right? So I want you guys to be aware. I wanted to give you guys a live update on my current holding for this position, and then that trade with SoFi. Other than that, that's kind of the only thing I'm trading and looking at today. Nice swing trade. I've had a couple swing trades for the year, and the last couple trades I've had, swing trades, actually turned out really great. Really great swing trades, shorting the market. Now we are actually trying to go long on the market. Now, if I do see that this does break pretty significantly, I may decide to reduce my position, maybe by like half. If I see this get rejected and start to sell off back to these, you know, $53, $52 levels, if the Nasdaq also gets rejected, right? I don't want to hold this if it begins to come down even to 465s or even 455s. There's no point. Just get out, wait for this to sell off, or get into SQQQ when it's selling off instead of holding this and waiting for it to recover. I didn't mind doing the swing trade. That was nice. It was cool. But really, I would love to have gotten in a little bit lower and then just make my money right away, right? Get in pre-market down here, up at these levels, make 3%, move on with my day. So don't mind holding. We're going to keep our alerts updated. So if we get lower than, say, 53, at this point, it's almost 54. If we start breaking 54, well, no, 53.75, okay? If we start getting below 53.75, I may just cut my losses or reduce maybe half my position. But I'd love to see this breakout, and I wouldn't mind holding this too. I'll hold it for another day or two. If we do see signs of a breakout, you know, hold it till Friday, possibly, if we do continue to see that this is holding above the moving average. Just saw a lot of red on here. I was like, whoa. Looks like we're still going to continue to get this nice little horizontal pattern here. So again, as long as it holds, don't mind holding it. If it goes below this moving average, begins to sell off, then I'll just cut my losses. So not bad. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll make a video later on today, do a recap, or we'll see you in tomorrow morning's live day trading session for another live session. Okay, guys? So appreciate your time, and we will see you all in the next video.